Welcome back to another episode of our podcast, starring. Oh God. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that.
God. It's starring God.
Starring God. Well, today we are going to have wonderful topics. So I wanted to talk about a movie that I was like, whoa, why didn't I think about talking that in the first place instead of just rambling on about. We have been having actually pretty good topics, but there is one movie that I actually really wanted to talk about. Um, it's called Life is Beautiful, starring the director Roberto B. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but yeah, it's a movie that was made in the '90s, but it was based on the Holocaust and all that stuff. So it's kind of like it's not a satire. I wouldn't say it's more so of like a comedy within tragedy. Oh, thank you. It's more so of like a comedy within tragedy. It's about a man that moves in with his uncle along with his friend, and he basically goes through stuff that's like in the beginning. His friend is like driving with him, and his friend is driving the car, and he's like yelling how happy he is, and the brakes are gone. We could all live in this wonderful world, blah blah blah. And then the brakes actually broke, and then they started like going down, and then they enter like, oh my god, like they're going downhill, and then there's just like a bunch of bushes, and then they enter an area where there's like people like surrounded like the street. They're all chanting and everything. They're all like happy. It looked like it's like a festival almost. And then he drives there with his friend. He's like, "Get out of the way! Go, go! Get out of the way! Move, move, move! We're driving!" And then they're all like doing this too. They're all like, and then he realized that as he did this, he was like, "Wait a minute!" And then he catched the vibe, and it was the vibe was they thought they were like, I don't know, the mist or something like that. They thought they had a high title. That's why they're all like celebrating and shit. And then the road closed, and the actual people came after them. They're all like looking at them confused, and the actual people are sitting in their cars like, "What the heck?" But yeah, it's like kind of like that. And so he goes to his uncle's house, and yeah, and then he comes to a scene where his uncle's house was like broken into and stuff, and that's another sign of like what time era, like what zone of time we're in during like the Holocaust when things are rising. So it's like probably like in the mid, like the early 40s. Uh, but yeah, so basically, um, yeah, the house is trashed, and they found their uncle like on the floor, like I don't know, but yeah, and he was just like, it's okay. It was just a bunch of people that like to pull pranks when in actuality, it's people that are throwing hatred towards people that aren't superior to their race, and so yeah, but I totally forgot a topic. I totally forgot that just one more main thing in the beginning is that when he was stopped with his friend to fix the car, he actually, was wandering around, and his friend was like telling him to leave him alone. He was being annoying. And so he goes, to this house, and he sees this little girl, and then she's like, "Who are you?" And he's just like, "Oh, I am a prince." And he was just making up a story about like how he's a prince and he's going to change the whole land, and his friend is like fixing his, you know, car, something like that. And so I'm going to meet the principet, which is like princess in Italian. And then a lady like falls out of like the huge thing when they're like cleaning like the hens and stuff like that. She falls out of, I forgot what it's called, and he basically catches her. He's like, "Buongiorno, principessa," and that's like a whole saying that's throughout the film is just basically him running into her, and yeah, they fell in love without even speaking that much, which is interesting. It's weird, but it works for the movie because the love is so beautifully done. Because every time he runs into her, he makes it more exciting. Like when she fell into his arms, and then he had to suck out like the wasp poisoning outside of her leg, and then the next time was him stealing a bike and running into her, and when she's like leading the class, and the class is like laughing at both of them falling into each other's arms, he's like, "Buongiorno, principessa." And then another time is when he's hiding behind his friend, and then he surprises her. It's all coincidences too, like they just run into each other. And then the last one was when he was inside like a restaurant with a guy that's he's a waiter, the main character, and he runs into a person, a customer, and basically says that he's going to the school to talk about I don't know how superior German race is, and so he realized that it's the same school that the girl works at, and so he decided to show up the next morning and pretend to be that guy and go off about how he thinks the German race is superior as he's a Jewish man. And it's so freaking funny. Like, he literally goes on top of a table and he's like, the most superior thing that you could ever imagine is the belly button, and everybody's dying, and he's just like, look at me, it's a belly button, it's a magical thing. It's like, if people try to bite this off, they'll like end up with lint in their teeth. It's like, I don't know. It's just like he just goes off in random tangents, and he just went there to actually ask her out, but she was busy that night to watch like this whole thing in Venice with her husband, but she didn't tell him that. She was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the theater, and he's just like, oh, okay, so you're gonna go to the theater, good to know, I'll see you there. And so yeah, so that's when he had to do all that, and then the actual guy arrives, and then he escapes. He's like, thank you guys, and one more time, the belly button, and he leaves through the window. He just escapes, he gets the hell out of here. But yeah, so so it was basically that, and then I don't know, I might forget stuff, but he meets her at that place to see her, and he sees her all the way up there. It's kind of like a fancy theater type of thing, and he's in the audience, and yeah, and so it's very beautiful, as the beautiful soundtrack does. It just like brings the emotion to life as you're watching the scene. Like, at first he's just sitting there in the audience, like looking at this beautiful princess, you know, in his eyes, and he's just calling to her, saying, like, quietly though, he's trying to use this like technique that his friend taught him, like, you have to believe that something will happen, and it will happen, kind of putting it out in the air, like, I'm trying to fall asleep, that type of thing. It's called Schopenhauer, and so he's basically he uses this hand thing. He does it different, but yeah, he was going up and like looking at her. He's saying, "Look at me, princess. Look at me. Look at me." And she finally like looks at him without looking at him. You know, that type of vibe. And so like he just looks at her like amazed. You know, and then the music just clashes with that amazement. It's just the love you could feel pouring out for something that, I don't know, they don't even know each other that well. But yeah, so after that, the husband had to go to this dinner party that she didn't want to go to. She wanted to get ice cream. He's just like, hey, I got to do business, and you're my wife. You got to go with me. She's like, I just want ice cream. And then, so he gets his way, obviously. And so the funny thing is that the main character's friend has the same car as that guy. And so yeah, so basically the main character gets his friend to lend him his car to just use it and stuff. And so there's a lot of little things too that go into the story that I forget. Like, I'll bring it up earlier, but anyways, I'll backtrail, I guess. So yeah, he picks up her in the car of his friends that is actually his car, what she thinks it's the other guy. It's like this whole thing, and so she gets inside the car thinking it's the guy that she's with, and she just like goes off on him, like just looking straight forward while it's like raining, and she's like, I can't believe it's raining, you could have showed up with an umbrella, like, I can't believe you. And it's just she keeps going off and about like how she has to go to this dinner party, which she doesn't want to, she just wants ice cream. And then she starts hiccuping when she's just like, oh, here I go hiccuping because I'm doing something I don't want to do, I'm getting anxious, I'm getting nervous. And then she keeps going, and then she finally looks at him, and he's just like, buongiorno principessa, and she screams, and she's like, what the heck? And then he's just like, and then he goes off on like telling her like how like all her problems and everything, and he just like said that I could have picked you. I don't know, he just goes off charmingly, and then basically the roof comes off eventually, and so yeah, so it's raining, and then he has to like get an umbrella, which I forget what he uses as an umbrella, but yeah, it's a really great film. Eventually, I'm just gonna skip to it. Eventually, they have a kid, and everything is so beautifully done because after he takes like, it's a second date that they happen where he actually eventually gets her when she's actually having a party for like her engagement with the other guy, and that's when he finds out that he's with that other guy and stuff. and so yeah, so he steals her on this like horse that's painted green that says like a racial slur for like Jewish people because that's the only horse he had at the time. So he showed up in this huge place during the wedding as the music kind of like dies down. They're like, what the fuck? And so he's just like, hello, how are you doing? Hello, and then he just shows up and he's like, buongiorno, principessa, and it's just like, I don't know, he steals her away. Actually, he just doesn't even, I don't know. I think he says run away with me or something like that. It was just beautiful. And so she just said fuck it. And so she got on top of the table and got on the horse and then they just like rode off into the sunset. And then he took her home. He's just like, gotta finish off the nightcap, you know what I'm saying? And so he takes her in and realizes that he can't open the door. And so he's like, all right, where can we be? Like, I can't take her home. Her mom's pissed right now, low key. And so he's like, okay. And then he looks at this garden, this glass garden house that they have next to them. And so he's like, perfect. And so they go inside, the music is playing, and then the scene merges into exterior daytime outside of garden glass house day. They come out, and then this boy comes out of the house, this little boy, and so it shows that it's like years afterwards that they had a kid and they're together and they're all happy, beautiful child. They're all going off to work together on one bike. It's really cute. And this music's playing. They're all happy, and the little son's in the back, like, oh my god, you know. And so they show up to this bookstore that he finally wanted, because that was his main goal, was like owning a little bookstore and having a happy family. It's freaking precious, and their life is going good, but still things are happening. Obviously, in Germany, like stuff isn't died down. It's not happily ever after. Sad to say, Hitler is still alive. So they show up. I forgot who shows up first. Yes, okay. So some guards show up that work for Hitler or Nazis or something, and so they talk to him about having to talk about something, which I'm assuming it's like some things about being Jewish. I don't know. I don't know much about that, but I'm pretty sure there's more that I just don't know about that had to do with like having to talk to Jewish people and taking them out of their homes just to talk. I don't know what that conversation was, but yeah. So as he was walking along with the people that took him to talk, he was like doing a funny dance to make his son look out the window, like think it's okay because his son's like going to work with him, and his son was worried, and his father's like, "Hey, I'm doing a fancy dance. Don't worry about it." And so yeah, his actual grandma that he hasn't seen before in his life. This kid's like about 8 now, 7, 6, I don't know, somewhere in that age bracket. And so she shows up and stuff, and so she's talking to him like, "It's your birthday today." He's like, "Yeah, I know." And so he's just like, "Wow, how old are you now?" And he probably says his name. He's probably 7. And so she talks to him about like, I don't know. She said she wants a huge tank, and he says he wants a huge tank for his birthday, or something like that. And so it was kind of innuendo of saying that my grandma is gonna visit me today or something like that. And so technically the grandma's already visiting in a weird way and saying that the grandma's gonna give him something nice. I don't know. It's interesting. And so like, I don't know if they both secretly agreed that they knew that she was the grandma and they're both playing with each other, just improvising, like saying how she isn't the grandma. I don't know what the jig is with that, but either way, that's the grandma. Um, so basically, um, after that, something you see their life at home. Like he doesn't want to take a bath. You know, he's hiding in the closet thing, and then he starts to hiccup, and that's how they find him. The father's pretending like he doesn't know anything, and the mom's like, I could hear him hiccuping in the cabinet, and she's like pretending. She's like, oh, if only the cabinet could come to me, and like, no, no, no. She's like, yeah, she said something like that. If like only the cabinet would take a bath, it's so dirty. And so the father's like, I bet I could take this. No, I got you flowers today or something. I want to bring these flowers. Something he does something cute. The dad, and so he's like, come to me, cabinet, come to me, and the cabinet like walks towards the mom and then gets out and says, Buongiorno, Principessa. It's really freaking cute. And so after that, I don't know what happens in between. I forget, but as of right now, but they get taken away into cut to them being taken with the grandpa because he's also Jewish along with them, and so they got taken away into this huge train thing, you know, and the mom finds out and she rushes to the train station, and she tries to stop the train by talking to this guard. I don't know what his title is because he had the ability to stop the train in like 2 seconds. But yeah, so she said, "Stop the train. I want to get on the train with my family. I want to get on." He's like, "No, you don't understand. You don't want to get on, bro. Like you don't. You just believe me." And she's like, "No, I want on now." And so he literally is like, "All right." And so he stopped the train, and she got on in the train, and I think yeah, the father and son is like, "Oh my gosh, mom has some balls," and so she gets on, and they all get separated once they get to the camp, and it's just the movie entirely shifts like into like one movie about a guy moving in with his uncle with his best friend. It's kind of like a sitcom type of idea, and then merging into like freaking actual like Holocaust and concentration camps and Hitler, and it's just a really huge change. It's like the theme has darkened, like the title screen for every Harry Potter movie. And so they get to the camp and everything. They don't see the mom. They get separated. They're trying to call for each other. The mom doesn't hear. And then the grandpa all of a sudden gets separated from them. They're like, nope, elderly has to go this way. The men and children have to go that way, sort of thing. Um, and yeah, so they get separated, and they get put in these barracks and stuff like that. And the dad somehow sneaks the little boy in with him, his son, to like hide from like the guards and stuff, and just have his son with him at all times, which is really freaking cool. Like that's no one just gets away with that shit. I don't know how he did that, but so yeah, he just sneaks in. Yeah, so he gets in the barracks, and then his grandpa's still there, and they're just like trying to communicate like to what's going on or something like that. I forget. And not soon later, the grandpa has to take a shower, and we all know like that's so he died and stuff. It's a really deep movie. It's really gets you in the freaking guts, man. It goes from beautifully to like freaking they're trying to survive. They're like their life is on the line, and they're doing everything it takes to go back to the life he wants. And it's so sad because it looks like it's nearly impossible because this guy's just like dying to see his wife, dying to like know that everybody's okay, and just like at that point he just like wants to keep his kid okay because he has so many stakes. He has his wife, he has his uncle, he has his child. I don't know, he has his bookstore, he has his I don't know, he just happiness. And so when that's taken away from you, you just don't know what you have to do. And he's like, okay, the first problem I have is to make sure my son's okay. And so he convinces his son that this isn't, like something that's bad. It's actually a game that he's doing for his birthday. And so his son's really invested. He's like, really? What is this? He's like, what are you talking about? And so his father's like, well, you have to do good things, and in order to get points, you have to do a lot of good things so you can earn more points to get a huge tank for your birthday. But there's a bunch of other players that want tanks too, so you have to beat them. You have to get like more points. And so he's basically telling his son what to do by using the points. He's like, stand her here, you have to stand her here, make no noise. And then I heard Jeremy has 400 points back there, so like you better watch out for Jeremy. So get your head in there. And he's just like, oh shoot, I don't want to do this. Jeremy's a really good competitor. And so like it gets really cool. But it's just, and then one time his freaking father was just like, this is ridiculous. Why do I have to carry this huge thing on my back? Like this hurts. Like, or it was like he's carrying it like this. He was like struggling to carry it. He was like going lower and lower. He's like, I can't do it anymore, man. And his friend behind him was like, you gotta keep going. This is ridiculous. You're gonna hold up the whole line. And it's just like, no, they'll like kill you if you like stop. He's just like, I don't know if I could do this. And it's just like he does it. He does it in a comedic way though. Every part in this movie is just like either like it's really dramatic or it's just like making comedy out of like dramatic things that happen. Um, but yeah, so yeah, he goes up the stairs and his kid like comes out and he's just like, Dad, they're telling me I have to take a bath and I don't want to take a bath. I don't want to take a bath. He's just like, no, you have to take a bath. Go take a bath. He's like telling him to get out of here because the guards are going to see him and take him away. But yeah, the son's like, no, like he's fucking persistent, dude. He is not going to step in that water. And the dad's like, fine, just go hide somewhere. And so, so the son hides. And then, gosh, we find out that that the bads actually mean that they're like, yeah, getting rid of Jewish children, and it's really freaking sad. So it's just the irony in that is that he just doesn't want to take a bath, and little things like that really save a life, which is crazy. And so he's like basically the only kid in there that's left that's not, German. And so he has to hide. He's not really like, he can't be seen. But he doesn't know that, and the father's the only one that knows that. And then the kid's obviously missing kids. He's just like, where's some people that I can hang out with? I don't want to only do this. I want to like play hide and go seek. And so the father's like, you know what? I seen kids outside. I'm pretty sure that they're playing, hide and go seek, whatever they called it, or like they're playing a game. Go out there. And so he says, but you can't say anything. You can't talk, or like, I don't know. Maybe I think it was something like he was avoiding them. I don't know what he was, I forget. No, okay. It was something like he was trying to hide, he was trying to go somewhere, and then one lady caught the little kid, and she was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she was like saying it in German, and they both don't know German, and so he's just like, he's just trying to tell his son to not say anything and just like go play with little kids and make sure not to say anything, you know. And so he was just like, okay, and so he did that, and I don't know, it was just this whole thing, happened within all those. It was just crazy, and yeah, it's a really good movie, and I feel like I don't want to give any more spoilers away because I feel like I've just said half of the movie, and I did not mean to say half of the movie. That whole thing was like, I got sucked into giving the like freaking script of the movie.
No, it was really beautiful. Like that film really like it draws out a lot of life, and I appreciate that you give that like story and you give that life to it. Yeah. I mean, Life is Beautiful is really such a great film. And I remember in like middle school and high school going over history class, and I wish they actually took the time more to show us films that actually showed the appreciation of not just life but history too. Because that film does like such really great, like it goes into details a lot. And I really appreciate you telling that, because I mean, dude, not a lot of people will take the time to watch a film like this, and I think it's something that like needs to be done more. Wow. Because like films like that actually not only just tell a story, but it talks about life. Because right now we have a lot of like action films, we have sci-fi, we have a lot of things that are like fake. They're like, it just can come out of nowhere from like, simple just like, all right, we're gonna have an alien invasion, and we're gonna have Team 10 come in and take on the notorious Biggie Smalls. My brain just exploded. Honestly, I'd love to watch that film, but no, I mean, watching and hearing about foreign films, I mean, we need to learn something, because honestly, a lot of independent films that you watch at film festivals, I mean, they I'm sorry to say, but they have more of a connection, and like, you sit there and you can cry to these movies, and you can really relate, even if it's in another language. You still just, you see the emotion in their eyes, and you really connect with the characters, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do too, honestly.
Such a good film.
It's a really good film. I really recommend it, obviously. Yeah. It just deserves. I feel like nowadays, thank God, everybody knows it. You know what's some stupid, like, freaking crap I did in freaking elementary school? And you know what is some stupid crap I did? I thought I was so freaking. I wanted to connect with someone so bad that I asked every single person I met, have you watched Life is Beautiful? And, like, I was just like.
What grade was this?
I don't fucking know, all my life until college.
You did ask me if I watched Life is
Beautiful.
Did I
fucking? Why do I do that?
You're just like, you're going around.
I've been
you're just
doing
like, have
this
you seen this movie?
Ever since I came out of the womb and my dad showed me that movie, I've been like, that's the only way to start conversations.
You just like the first time you meet somebody, just Life is Beautiful.
Life is Beautiful. Yes or no? So we can watch it right now if you haven't seen it.
What if they're like, you're just like, Life is Beautiful, and they're like, yeah, for the most part.
I'm like, can we be best friends? Oh my god. Yeah, it's a really good fucking. Okay, we all get it. It's a good film. There's nothing else to say. The fuck? Fuck what?
One scene actually in particular that stood out to me, is you brought it up, the train. Cause oh no, wait, hold on. Let's see if I sneeze.
Oh, you haven't took your allergy pills. Oops.
I haven't. Oh gosh. Thank you.
It's so dusty. I don't even know how to explain. It's not dusty. It's just my cat.
And the cat's not
She's
Dusty.
messy. She's
Her
messy.
name's Dusty. Dusty Hoffman.
Dusty Hoffman. It's a cute version of Dustin Hoffman for cats.
Oh, but actually, the scene that you were talking about, when she stops the train, I really love that because it shows two different sides of from the beginning to the continuous of World War II. Is it World War II or one?
Two.
World War II. Okay,
1917. Remember the
movie? I know, like 1917, another good film. Dude, I'm convinced it took them like 2 shots to do that whole film. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Dude, I think that like literally it has to be 2 shots.
Dude,
like
there
that's
are
not
no
fucking
cuts.
like
there are no
fuck?
cuts, no different angles.
Fuck?
It's one camera that follows the guy for like the whole fucking
That's
journey.
Insane, man.
Dude,
like jeez,
the
like
time,
literally
like,
the time it gets night. It gets to darker time naturally.
Yeah.
And then they cut it and then it's darker, but like
yeah,
still
but,
they go throughout the whole day with time just freaking wow.
I think we looked it up not too long ago, and we can look it up again and then actually put it on here. But for the most part, I remember it was like honestly like 15 shots, or like 10 to 15 for 1917.
Dude, there's only 2 shots.
No, but the thing is that like well, we'll put it on here, but I looked it up about probably right when like the movie came out, because like my friend and I, we were like really fucking stoked about like how we just only saw fucking 2 shots, and to know that they had like 10 to 15 shots makes it even fucking better, because you don't even see the change. You don't see a different camera angle. You don't see a switch. You don't see anything. You just see a continuous story. It just tells one story straight from the beginning to the end.
With different shots. Yeah, I think I know what you mean, because I was gonna say that like they had to pick like the exact time to start to where like each shot they took in each like angle that they got like matches like the sky, and like you know when they seen those like pink plants and everything.
Yes.
Like the sky had to go with it, or like the vibe of it. I don't know.
Dude,
everything
they had to
just
really, continuity was just fucking
Yeah,
they really continuity the shit out of that.
that was crazy, bro.
Oh, but see what I loved about Life is Beautiful is that what it did is that it showed the caption of right before the war and when the war started, because it shows up in the beginning when you don't notice it, but if you take the time to watch it, and if you see it the first time, if not, you can watch it again and again, you find out more things about the film, such as like, you know, as he's having a conversation with his the love interest, the girl that you know, they end up getting married, they have a kid, they get together. In the beginning, when they're talking, you in the background don't notice, but there's a guy who's setting up the sandbags because they're getting ready for war, and it's really cool because it does it so subtle, but it still lets you know that, like, you know, even though the film is titled Life is Beautiful, it shows 2 different aspects from 2 different point of views of like people's lives. So it's like, you know, if 2 people are going out on dinner and having a good conversation, it captures that life, and it captures the beauty of it. But then, you know, still in the background, it's like, it's not a singular universe. You know, in one universe, multiple things are going on. And when that film shows like just a little slight detail of the guy in the background setting up bags and people boarding up their windows and getting ready for war, it just shows like how life is just constantly happening everywhere. And then later in the film that you talk about when they put them on the train, and you know, and she stops the train. It really captures a lot, and it's really such a great film that I really enjoyed watching.
That's really dope.
I'd say I don't watch a lot of movies over and over again. I did with Transformers. That was my younger years. I've grown now. But Life is Beautiful, I could say that I would watch it and watch it again, because you keep finding out more about the film. Like when you think you watch a film and you've understood the storyline, there's something that's always going on around. So when there's one story going on, there's always other people's lives that are affected by it in that film. Mm-hmm. And when you watch it closely, you see different connections with different characters from just all sides of everyone that like took the time to put that film together. And I really appreciated it.
I think out of this, I've learned that people take extras for granted. They just
They
want to
do.
use random people out there saying, like, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, we were watching a show recently, and remember when we were talking about how the backgrounds just look like they're in their own little world? There's just like you
They're
see
just
like a story going on, and just like people are just walking.
And then
on
you see
cameras.
one person like listening like this, so like,
yeah, dude, it's like straight up.
you're like, why are they reacting that strongly? I swear to, they are. It's ridiculous. I'm like, bro, you take it out. Why are you listening to that? Why are you being such a nosy
They're
background?
like can you imagine they're like the Karens of
They're
like
trying to
film? They're just like, what is fucking going on in this scene? Who are these actors? I can be a star too.
You know what? The best part is they're literally like trying to act, and they're like trying to like look like they're convincing, like being like realistic, like, oh, people listen to their conversations, like, but it just doesn't work on screen if everybody's just like not listening.
Because they're all trying to.
Like, yeah, like there's only one person that stands out. It's like, whoa, why is he trying to act so hard for this?
Yeah, because I don't think like sometimes what the problem is that when we realize in film, like when we watch something and we go, oh, okay, like usually in real life. Like, you know, some people like try to listen on a conversation. You have to account for like what you do. Like, do you do that? Because then you'll be able to recognize it. And instead of like trying so hard to listen, you would just go like, what are they actually like talking about? Like, and then you like just go in, and then you like you try to make it more subtle. Because at the same time, you don't want people to know you're eavesdropping, because then that puts like a bad rep, or it puts somebody in the position of like, you know, what if they catch you and they look at you and go like, can I help you? Then, like, how are you going to respond? Are you going to go, wait, I think a person would respond out of anger. So, and then just, like when the character does that, like, let's say they have the allowance of just, like, improvising in the scene. Oh Can you imagine if you got Seth Rogen, and you had a film that he was in, and you had a background, and the background was listening, and can you imagine, like, the fucking terror in your eyes if Seth Rogen just improv right there and went, like, can I help you? What would you do in that instance? You're a background actor, you're working on set, you don't even have in mind that you're gonna be even in the shot, you just hope that, like, you walking in the background gets you something, and then Seth Rogen just improvs right there, looks at you and goes, can I help you? What are you going to do then? I'd shit myself.
I would shit myself. I don't know what I'd do, actually.
And then I'm trying to think of different scenarios. Screen. I'd tell Seth Rogen, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I have just shitting myself. Excuse me. And then just walk off. It's real as fuck, and that probably, you know, that might be the best part of the film. I don't know. Damn. It won't be. It's Seth Rogen. But I'd...
Holy fuck. Got me thinking, man.
In conclusion, background actors don't get a lot of rap. I have to take a time to think about. Are you gonna put it on brown? Or are you gonna switch the lighting?
Dude, I don't even know. Smooth.
How's that remote looking?
Just trying to figure out.
Oh, shit.
That's not smooth. What the fuck?
No,
this is strobe.
This was bought at, I'm not going to say the name of the store, Jesus but it rhymes with Walmart. It's probably like about $6. There you go.
That's cool. I vibe with that.
Okay. How do you think? You think like Phillips, like Captain Phillips? You think after like he was done with his life of like voyagery in the ocean and setting sails in the ocean of the Pacific and Atlantic, and pretty much anywhere else he's gone, you think he decided to just settle down and say, you know what? I've seen so much life. I'm willing to now create a TV that shows the same thing. It depicts pictures and different voyages of, I mean, like the background. What is going on in the background? This is Phillips. This is Phillips right here. This is what Phillips did.
That's probably all of his adventures on the screen.
Oh my god, is this what?
Probably just don't know it.
Dude, he saw a robot terrorize downtown.
He really likes movies because he likes promoting movies. Maybe that's for like to keep his side up, to keep his production going. He has to promote things too. It's all modernized.
I'm going to show you what it looks like right here. It's Captain Phillips.
It's probably something that you've seen before.
And then And then that's Captain
It's
Phillips.
really fun to look at while you're high. Like,
oh yeah, especially the aurora right there. Just the days, it looks so beautiful. And then it just like cuts to the moon and then Seattle. Well, oh shit, no, that's actually not Seattle.
That's usually how it goes.
That's a
Moon in
UFO
Seattle.
that's like abducting the Eiffel Tower.
Oh shit.
And then there's the Ferris wheel.
No, yeah.
That's a robot that's attacking something else. Oh, that's Seattle.
We can't forget this is all of his adventures, so they're gonna be chaotic. As I'm like, that's why I trip out so hard on that. It's because it's so chaotic.
Was he on the Titanic? I mean, low key.
Dude, low key, he probably was. Phillips, I feel like Phillips is like a fish that could just like roam to different boats and just fucking start a new life.
Nice.
Dude, he was on the Titanic and survived. Fucking
What if he was
buy this TV
Jack?
now. He deserves it. What if he was Jack? He was just like, I fucking hate her. He like, tried to take over the world and fucking kill her ass, but she decided to die before he could get to her, and he was so pissed off about it. So he invented that and changed his name to Phillips.
Do you think he stole the necklace after he sunk to the bottom? He came across a necklace, sold it for like billions of dollars, and then invented this.
That's so much better, actually.
He invented this. He's like, I'm gonna get her back. I'm gonna get that bitch back.
By making a TV.
Make a TV.
And I know she won't be able to see it. She dies in the 90s.
She died in the 90s?
Probably 80s.
Oh, I thought it was early 2000s.
She's not a real person.
Wow.
She's just an old lady that's an actor.
Betty White?
Is that the only actor that's old?
She's the only actor that's gonna outlive everyone.
That's true.
Only person, only human, only angel, only. She's the only. She's gonna be. She's the only.
She's the one and only.
Love your hat, by the way. Where'd you get it?
I got it from. Well, I can't go to a Dodgers game because of COVID. I got it from.
Welcome to Universal.
Oh yeah, City Walk.
Say hi to Universal.
Dude, City Walk. I forget City Walk's open. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't like going a lot though because I'm just a walking person that everything clings to, so I just get sick easily. I just tried to not go.
Don't know what to do. I'm sorry. I have lyrics that I've written over the years, and sometimes they just like when someone triggers them, it comes out. Like you're like, I'm just a walking. I just go. I'm just a sitting, walking, thinking, talking. Don't know.
Yeah, it's a personality trait of his. We've grown to accept it.
Don't. Dude, I can't wait till they open Universal Studios though. I have not gone since the 2 years I've been here.
Yeah, but I don't know if... Yeah.
You think they're opening it soon?
I don't know. I'd rather, like, wait it off at this point.
Wait it off?
Yeah.
And
Just, like, till, like, everything is, like, simmered down or, like, the fucking percentages of, like, COVID in California simmers down.
Yeah, because a lot of people are still going out.
They don't care.
A lot of people are still going out.
It's crazy.
Dude.
I mean, like, going out is nice and all, but Jesus.
Like, when I go out, I go out for, like, a drive.
Yeah.
I drive around. I go to the mountains.
It's nice.
Like,
just, like, clear your head, man. Yeah.
But when I'm driving around these places, I see people just packed at the restaurants.
That gets me,
and
like...
they're packed outside. They're packed at Universal. These guys are just, like... They're
packing up, man.
Sometimes they convince me that COVID isn't a thing, and I'm
exactly.
just like, okay. I'm like, whoa.
At least add, like, 50 more people to the walk on City Walk, and then I bet, like, it would be, like, literally, if Universal was open, that's how it would look like.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference that I've seen, I was watching on the news when they started opening everything back up again, and, like, dude, the only difference is that, like, some stores are closed. And Universal is closed. Yeah. But other than that, City Walk's open and it looks like City Walk.
It looks normal as fuck.
Just have City Walk open, but just close the movie theater and close Universal Studios. It's still City Walk.
Dude, do you think the movie theaters will ever, like, not reopen, but I'm saying, like, because I heard they're shutting down that specific AMC.
They're shutting it down?
Dude, yeah, deadass.
Like, out of business?
Not AMC. AMC is pretty big.
No, but like AMC City Walk?
I think so, because like
no!
they want to go their separate ways. I'm pretty sure that's what they decided. I'm not
Fuck
completely...
you could suck it. We're gonna buy you out. Done. Alright, we're keeping it there. Don't worry guys, we got you. Please don't have them close it down. Please don't have them close it down, dude.
How do you do the cut it out thing again?
I was like, cut it out. I don't know the middle one. It's cut it, or like he goes, cut
it out. Like this? Cut it out.
Yeah, cut it out.
Okay. That's pretty smooth.
Cut it out.
Why do you look like cut it out?
Cut it out. Cut it out.
I'm scared.
Cut it out.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think that's what's happening. I don't know if they updated it or anything. Or like that shit's just a rumor. I don't know. But that would suck because I used to love going to AMC on Universal City Walk.
It was nice to like, dude, before and after when you like finish watching your movie, just like walk around for a bit, get fresh air, look at the lights. It was always so nice from going into like leaving.
Yeah. Like late at night when no one's there and all your friends are just like fucking like
when you remember when like leaving the movie, like leaving Universal afterwards late at night where everything's just closed but the lights are still on.
Yeah, dude.
And you could just walk. You just kind of like walk back in your car. And
there's like a couple of sheriffs.
It was always so nice and beautiful.
Yeah.
And then always like parking at the top of like the garage. And then just so like when you go back up, you get to the elevator, you're on top and you just get to like look at the fucking sky. Just like look at everything. You see the minion in the corner always like staring at you.
Dude, that minion will always fucking stare at you, judging you for whatever you do.
Dude, sometimes I'd see him from like the freeway when I'm driving back home or when I'm like driving to work.
Yeah.
And I would just like stare and I'd be like, you know what, you convinced me. I'm gonna go see a movie today.
Yeah.
It's also a great restaurant nearby off of Hollywood Boulevard. It's called Maxim. If anyone else that knows about this, we call it Ring Rings. It's a really great restaurant. I think if you're in the area, you should try it out. It is very good. Very, very good.
It's alright.
She got the soup the first time, don't. No one gets the soup!
I like soup sometimes. I can't control when I like soup. It just... Sometimes I go into a place and I'm like, this feels like a soup day.
Dude, I told you everything on the menu too. Like the first day, I looked at you and we're both telling you, all right, so this place is really good. We've had the rice, we've had the orange chicken, we had the shrimp, we had the chicken teriyaki. All right, all that stuff is good. You're like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna try it. Excuse me, can I have the soup? And we're just like, we've never tried the damn soup. We told you everything that was good that we've had.
I wanted fucking soup. Jesus, shoot me, man. I like soup.
Soup me.
Soup me.
Soup me.
Soup me, man. I'm waiting.
Soup
me all night long.
Soup.
Soup. All I got is soup. Want more soup? Give me more soup. And then I'll give you more soup.
That was good. What do you want to do? Any topics?
Songs?
Any songs? Any music? Any songs?
Oh, I forgot we could.
Yeah, we can do that.
Disappointment has struck tonight. What do you want to talk about, sis? Dayfic?
Honestly, covered film, covered history, covered classes, covered Universal, movie theaters, MC closing down. Rest in peace. I don't know, but I mean, what we can do is we can set up have the comments open. So for anyone that watches today's podcast, we can have more ideas from you guys that can tell us different things to talk about next week.
So glad I taped this down. Because, dude, look.
Dude,
I taped this all down. Because I keep fucking moving this shit all the time with my legs. Because I can't stop moving. So I'm glad I really nailed it down.
Next thing we're going to, tip it on.
I know. I wanted to bag a little bit, make it look natural. Like a natural look.
Oh, but, yeah, next time for our next episode, just kind of, let us know about anything that you guys want to hear us talk about, any films, movies, industry, and we could try our best to cover all those topics yeah.
Yeah, and then if we're smart enough to think of ideas, then we'll let you guys know, so we don't need recommendations.
We're gonna need like a lot of recommendations. Like actually, like these two conversation they had, it was a really good conversation. I mean, like more recommendations would just have more conversations of different things that like you guys would like to hear about, or anything that you want other people to know about.
It's all about fluidity.
try to I don't lost my brain cells.
Well, go ahead and find them, sis, because we all waiting. Here, try this bag.
You do them on top of my last brain cells that are.
I always steal your brain cells sometimes because I lost mine years ago. So you could pick out of this one.
Oh shit! Actually, I like this one. Wait, hold on, this one's.
Okay, and here, I'll give you the key to all of them. You have to open one brain cell. Keep it in like a metal box so no one can get in. It's bulletproof too.
I'm nervous. Is this like something out of like Harry Potter where if I open the wrong one I'm gonna die?
You know what? I can say that, but I can't. So sorry, you're gonna have to find out.
Dude, I swear, if this key breaks like the last key I fucking put into the... I can't believe there's still a key. It's like, it's stuck on the inside.
I know, dude.
It's really like fucking stuck on the inside. That's really fucking horrible. Okay.
He has the strength of his shoe. He's trying to push his shoe against it to like freaking open, and it freaking broke the key.
I really can't believe that happened, dude. I really can't believe. Tried getting inside and just fucking like, all right, here we go. Last time I used my shoe. Oh shit, I threw it. Is this one? Dude, I said like I told you in confidence. I was just like, don't worry, I opened this with my shoe. We're gonna be fine.
Dude, you slammed it, and I was like, bro, what are you trying to hammer it in?
And then I grabbed it, and I just fucking went.
Yeah, with that exact shoe. Show the camera. Show the camera. It's that exact shoe.
I fucking popped it in, and
he actually got that from his pocket. We didn't have that. He was wearing a completely other shoe. He just said he has to have it just in case, whatever that means. It's ridiculous. He's such an embarrassment.
Snapped it right in half. That was so fucking. And I just like looked at you, and then we had to just. I don't know what we're gonna do with that kid. I don't know how we're gonna get it out. I got tweezers to pull it out, but
tweezers. He thought. I thought he was gonna say pliers or something, but he's like tweezers, and I was like, I don't want to get pliers, so I'm just gonna give him tweezers. Oh my god.
Actually, after this podcast, I'm gonna grab pliers, and I'll let you guys know if I got it out or not.
Probably. I don't know. It's too thick to get in the hole. All right, so.
Heyo.
Heyo. Hey.
What if we like just make up music and then we just talk about the meaning of the song?
Yes.
YouTube still fucking bad. Like
They're
still
just like that's our song. We just created it.
We
have a feud with YouTube over creating songs first.
You created the song for us, so it's ours, so you can't use it.
They're like, you put it on our platform, so that means it's ours. And then it's just like, it just... Okay. So, we'll see you next time,
Next time on the episode podcast of Whose Line Is It Anyways? Ooh. I mean, hi, how's it going? Whose line is hi, and how are you going? Because if you ain't going home here tonight, you going home tomorrow in a body bag.
Brought to you by Hi, how's it going? Thank you. That was our sponsor for tonight. And we'll close it off by saying I love you. And if anybody needs help, call the police. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, good night, guys.